Hello and welcome back to another video. So in part 4 we're going to carry on working on the logo and the search, basically the top section of the website. There's a section that we need to add in. So if you look at the top up here in between the logo and the search box, it's got like a nice sort of gradient effect here. So we need to slice this background out and add it to our design. So the way we're going to do this, if you come over to the layers panel in the bottom right hand corner, come all the way down to the very bottom. And if you select the background layer, then what we're going to do, if you hold down the Alt key and click on this eye symbol, that will turn off all of the other layers and just keeps the background layer visible. And as you can see here, the background isn't just a completely flat black image, it's actually got this sort of gradient effect. So what we need to do, we need to slice this portion out and put it on the background of our website. So if you come up here to the rectangular marquee tool, we're just going to create a bit of space so I can see the top. You're going to select the very top of the document and drag all the way down to all the way to the other side and come down so you're just below the gradient effect, like about there. So if I go to the info panel, the width is 1200 pixels and the height is 680. So if you do yours to that, it'll be exactly the same as mine. And if we get rid of that, so what we'll do now, if you come over here to the slice tool, if you just click and hold, it'll get the flyout menu and select slice tool here. It'll probably be selected on crop tool. So we're going to click in the top left hand corner and come all the way across to the right hand side till it snaps into position. And then come all the way down to the bottom section and that will snap in as well. And let go. So we've now created our slice of the background. So we're going to double click the slice layer and we're going to call this BG, obviously for background, and click OK. So we've now got that sliced out. We're going to go to File, Save for Web and Devices. And then as you can see here in the preview pane, if we do Control and the minus key, we can zoom out. So this is the selection here. This is the slice, that we're going to be slicing out. It doesn't really need to be a PNG because at the moment the PNG size is 386K, which is quite large. So if we select, say, JPEG, okay, so selecting JPEG has now brought it down to 50K, so that's quite a difference. You want to try and optimize all your images because obviously if your images are large, then it's going to take longer for the page to load. So 50 is fine with me, and the quality is at 100%, and I'm going to click on Save. So what we have to do then, these slices, we need to change the all slices to selected slices. So I'm just going to click on Save, and that will save it into the Images folder. So now we've got the background sliced out, we need to jump over to Dreamweaver and add it to the background of the web page. Okay, so now we're in Dreamweaver. We need to add the CSS code to add that image to the background. So we're going to add it to the body property. Now we use the body if we go over to the index page and go to the code view. So as you can see here, we're targeting this body tag which holds all of the websites. It's going to affect the whole background. So if we just go to the style sheet, so in here, underneath the background color, we're going to say background image, and if we just browse to our images folder, you'll see your BG background and click OK. Close that off, and then we're going to say background repeat. We're going to say no repeat because we don't want it to repeat across the website. We just want one instance of that image. And then we're going to say background position. We want this to be at the top of the page and in the center of the page. So if we just save that and go back to our index page, if we just preview this in a browser, so as you can see here, we've now got that nice effect on the background of the web page. It might be quite hard to see in the video, but it's definitely there. And obviously now if we change the size of the page, the gradient actually stays in the middle of the page. So if we just minimize the browser window, the next thing we're going to want to do is actually jump back over to Photoshop and actually slice out the logo in the top left hand corner. So now we're back into Photoshop. What we need to do, if we select the move tool at the top by pressing V or clicking the icon up here, if we press Ctrl D to deselect that selection, and then we just need to bring back all the other layers. So if we just hover our mouse over the eye symbol of the background layer, hold the Alt key and click, all the other layers come back in. Now if we just zoom in up to the Your Website section with Control and plus. So here's the actual yourwebsite.com logo. So obviously this is using like an emboss sort of look to it with a drop shadow. So we're going to go to the slice tool once again, and then we're going to slice a section around it like this. Okay, so we've now made a selection around that, and we're going to double click on it, and then we're going to call this logo. Now if we select our move tool by pressing the V key, and we click on Your Website Slogan, because at the moment that's actually inside of the slice, so we click on that, and then it selects it over here on the right hand side. And if we just nudge it down with the arrow key so it's out of the slice, we now need to change the background of the logo slice. So we need to have the inside of this orange box, it needs to be transparent. So the way we achieve this, if we click on the word yourwebsite.com, that then goes over to the layer over here, and we're going to use the same trick that we did with the background. So we're going to hold down the Alt key and click on the eye symbol. So everything else disappears apart from the actual Your Website slice. And then we're going to do File, Save for the web and devices. So here's the actual slice, and as you can see at the moment all the background's white. The reason for this is because the preset up here is set to JPEG, and JPEGs can't have transparency. So for transparent images, PNG is the best bet. As you can see now, the yourwebsite.com background has changed to a checkerboard background, which means it's transparent. And then what we're going to do now, if we click on save, and then we're just going to save that into the images folder using the selected slices here, and click save. So what we need to do now, if we just jump back over to Dreamweaver, we can now add that background image to the logo div. So the position where we want to put this in between the logo opening and closing div, and we're going to put it inside of a H1 tag for heading 1, like that. So now we've got the H1 tag in place, we need to add it to that. So we're going to target it in the following way. So any div with an ID of logo that has a H1 tag, do the following. So if we just jump to the style sheet, so underneath the logo we'll create another one. So any ID of logo that has a H1, use the following. So background image, and we'll browse for the image we just created. So here it is. So here's our PNG logo image, and click OK. And if we close that off, so if we just jump over to the index page, so as you can see the image has been added, but the logo div isn't long enough, so we need to extend it out. So if we go to the style sheet, so if we change it to say 400, and then go back to the index page, so as you can see it's now long enough, but as I said in a previous video, background images will repeat by default. You have to tell it not to repeat. So as you can see here, the yourwebsite.com is starting to repeat again over here. So to fix this, all we have to do is go to the style sheet. So on the logo H1, so all we say is background repeat, no repeat. So if we just save that with Control S and go back to the index page, so as you can see now it's not being repeated. Now if we just go to the code, so at the moment then we've got this div with an ID of logo, and we've actually attached the image to the H1 here. The H1 tag is an important tag for search engine optimization, so it's quite a good idea to add some text in between here for the search engines to like keywords and whatnot. So we put the website name here, so yourwebsite.com, and then we can add in some keywords. So if it's a software company, you can put in software applications. So by adding these in here, the search engine will pick these up and it will help with your search engine optimization. But now that we've added the text in between the H1 tags, if we go to the design view, you can now see that the text is now on top of our image, which doesn't look right at all. So the way to get around this is to go to the style sheet, and on the logo H1, we want to use the following text indent, and we're going to tell it to move it off the page so it can't be seen by the viewer, but a search engine can pick up that text and index it. So we're going to say move it off the page to the left, so by using the minus key, 9,999 pixels. So if I save that and go to the index page, you can now see it's gone off the page, but it now gives us that extra benefit of search engine optimization. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to leave the video here for now. I'll get a couple of more videos uploaded in the next couple of days, and I'll catch you in the next video.